Hello everyone, welcome back to another session of Demo Mondays. Demo Mondays is a video series where I invite Amazon sellers, software creators, owners, and representatives to show their products. And today my guest is Fetcher. And Fetcher is presented by product manager Maria Galindo. Hello, Maria.
Hi, Gus's. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, nice to meet you. And could you briefly explain us what Fetcher is and what problem does it solve for Amazon sellers?
Absolutely, my pleasure. So Fetcher is a financial analytics tool. And with that, I mean, we all know as Amazon sellers that it would take you hours of painful work to go through Seller Central and trying to figure out what your real numbers are. After all the fees and all the storage fee, your order fees and everything, how much are you really making? Now, pull those hours painful of work in the past, because Fetcher will give you all that data with the click of a button.
That's great, but the main question for international sellers is how many or which marketplaces are you covering?
Absolutely. We cover 8 marketplaces right now. On the Europe side, we support UK, France, Italy, Germany, and Spain. And on the North American side, we support Canada, Mexico, and the United States.
And do you have any specific target user? Is it a private label seller who is a beginner or advanced seller, or it fits anyone?
Absolutely. As long as you're a seller, it doesn't matter what kind of selling business you have, whether it's FBA, FBM, or retail arbitrage or online arbitrage. You will find benefit in Fetcher, but you do have to be actively selling. So if you're just getting started, you're in the product research phase, or you already have your product in the manufacturing phase, Fetcher won't be of much help, because in order to show you financial analytics, we need you to have actual selling history. But as soon as you start making that sale, Fetcher can help you right away.
Nice. And people have to link their Amazon seller accounts, right, with Fetcher. How long does it take to pull the initial data?
Sure. In order to link your account, it takes less than 5 minutes. All you have to do is give us permission on the Amazon side, which we walk you through the entire process. But then once you do that, we will start collecting your data as far as 2 years back. And your most recent data, we'll be able to get it right away, as well as future data going forward. But then the time frame that it takes for us to get those 2 years worth of data, it depends on the size of your account. If you're a small seller, maybe making 3,000 orders a month or less, it would take only a few hours, maybe 1 or 2. If you're a $1 million account seller, it would take a couple more hours than that.
Great. So let's jump into the real product. Shall we see how it works inside?
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and share my screen. All right, so here we go. Now, this is your Fetcher dashboard, and what tells you all your summary data of your business health right now for the time frame that you select. But before I go in here, I want to talk to maybe one of those sellers that may not be able to check their financials 10 times a day. Maybe you're like most sellers, including me, that I may only have time to check my financials every other day or once a day per se. If that's you, we got you covered. You will be able to go to your account on the top right corner, scroll down, and here you can elect to receive daily emails. These daily emails will go out to you in the morning around 8 a.m. in the morning Eastern time, and it will give you your information, as I showed you in the dashboard, with all of your financials, your sales, your units sold, your profit, PPC, any other expenses, everything in that one email. And as you can see here, you can add as many accounts as you want, and it doesn't matter. We will be able to support all of those accounts, even if they're for the same marketplace. For example, if you have 5 different brands in the US account, you can go ahead and add them here. We'll go ahead and pull that data for you and support you. Okay, now going back to the dashboard, we have these 5 very important sections here, and I'm gonna this is a real account, by the way, but I'm gonna go ahead and say Katie as the owner, okay? Now Katie wants to see her business health for the last 90 days, which is what I selected here in the calendar. She's getting ready for a meeting with her team members, and she wants to be able to present this data to them. Now, I selected 90 days, but you have multiple different options already here in the calendar, but you can always customize it to whatever you want. All you have to do is just click on the date that you want, click apply, and data would populate for you. Now, going back to the 5 different sections here, we have your actual revenue, which is this number, and then you have on top your 60,638. That's your what we call your adjusted revenue, and that what that is 61,000 minus your promotional rebates, your refunds, plus any reimbursements that you had for that time frame. We're showing you your units sold here, units shipped, any promo rebates that you had during that time frame, and any pending units. Now, this is very important here, so I'm going to make a pause real quick. Pending units, as you know, are any orders that you had coming in, but Amazon has not shipped yet. And as most sellers know, Amazon does not consider an order confirmed until that order ships, because many things could change, including the customer canceling it. Now, pending units, depending on the size of your account, could account for a lot of revenue. So you still want to know how much that revenue that is, even before Amazon ships the order out. Because of that, we created a special algorithm in Fetcher that even if the order is pending and Amazon has not sent us the confirmed information on the revenue, we will go ahead and create estimates for you that we will add to this number here, and the estimates will be based on past sales history. That way, you don't have to wait hours or maybe even days until Amazon ships out that order. And as soon as they ship it out, they send us that revenue confirmation, and we update your numbers right away. And then here on the third section, we have your costs, where you can see everything that were included in that total number of $60,000. And here we can see that order fees, as always, will always be one of the highest, and that's completely normal in every Amazon business. But then we notice that you have a $17,000 PPC expense. So this jumps to Katie, and she knows she has to take action because PPC is high. Now, another thing that comes out to her is the recurring fees and other fees. Now, she's thinking, okay, so what does that mean? What are recurring fees? Well, you can always scroll down to your cost chart where everything is clickable, and we give you the granular data of what those costs are. So let's go ahead and look at your recurring fees. Clicked, and here's where you'll see all of those fees that are being included in this bucket, with the biggest one, of course, being FBA storage fee. Now, if you want to see even the small ones and point out to them specifically, you can always unselect any specific fee, such as, okay, we're going to go ahead and deselect storage fee right there. And then you can continue and move and remove or keep adding expenses as needed, so you can do your analysis. And the same thing for your order fees or your PPC, where it's going to break it down by campaign for you. Wonderful. Now we continue with the analysis, and now we're on profit, your fourth section, where we will take your adjusted sales and subtract your total costs in order to give you the profit for the time frame that you selected. And from there, we'll go ahead and take your profit, take your sales, and divide it, which will give you, in this case, a 0% margin, because as we found out, we have to decrease our PPC expense. For those of you that would rather see this same data on a graph, we also provide it here for you, where you can also remove data as needed for your analysis. Completely up to you. And you can continue to scroll down, and like I showed you, review your cost chart or your inventory widget, which is right here. We will pull all of your data, all of your SKUs data, show you your current inventory level, inventory value, and what this means is the number of inventory of SKUs that you have multiplied by the cost of goods sold number that you gave us under the expenses tab, which I'll go over with you in a minute. Your average daily sales, this is your sales velocity for the past 10 days. Your lead time, this is very important because this is what will help you determine whether or not you're going to run out of stock. Let me show you this one, for example. For the baby shower towel that we sell, we have 34 in stock right now, but we sell 10 of these a day, and our lead time is 30 days. And this is the reason why it turned red, as you can see, because Fetcher is telling you, hey, you only have 34 and your lead time is 30. If you haven't ordered by now, I'm going to go ahead and make this red because you will run out of inventory. So order ASAP. Now, this is your dashboard. We're going to go ahead and take a look at one of my favorite tabs, which is the sales and profit page. And the reason why this is one of my favorite ones is because it will go into detail and compare, as you can see, give you the side-by-side data so you can do your own comparison analysis of how each SKU is performing. It will give you your return on investment and your gross margin. Here you can see my best ROI is the baby towel, the white color, whereas out of the towels, the one that's not performing as good as the other ones is the gray color because it's giving me a 0 ROI. Now, you can see from the columns, you can arrange them as you like, sort them, I mean. But let's say you're looking at your unit costs, right? And you want to see the detailed data. From here, from the tooltip, you can see what we, Fetcher, take into account so we can calculate this. But you say, hey, Maria, I see that you noted for the gray towel 1820. How are you exactly getting that number? I want to see what percentage went to the reshipping or what percentage went to the cost of goods sold. No worries, you can get that data by clicking on the SKU title. We're going to go ahead and click now. And it's going to take you to your product breakdown page automatically. It's going to keep the SKU that you're looking at as well as the time frame that you selected. It will give you the data in a graph, or if you're like me and you want to see the exact numbers, you will be able to see the sections here where you can expand them, just like we did on the dashboard. Here, you'll be able to see your total sales, promo rebates, refunds, and reimbursements, as well as all of your costs, units sold, profit, ROI, and margin. And you also have a cost chart that you are able to click on and be able to see all of your detailed data like we did on the dashboard. Now, another really cool thing I really like about this page is the PPC option, which I'm going to go ahead and scroll down right here. Now, why is this important? Because it will show you your ACOs, which we're all familiar with, as well as your PPC sales broken down per day, 7 days, and 30 days. And what this means is that your customer clicks on an ad today and they buy tomorrow. That would be considered a one-day type of revenue because all they had was 24 hours to think about it before they actually clicked the purchase button. Now you have a 7-day and 30-day. What if your item is $200 or $300? It would require that consumer to give it more thought, maybe even consult with someone else. In that case, they're most likely to click further out and in the time frame, maybe 6 days out or 20 days out. You still want to be able to account for that revenue so you know, hey, most of my customers are clicking within 30 days. That means that I should not make changes to my PPC before 30 days because my customers are still thinking about it. My PPC is still doing an effective job just because most of my customers do take 30 days to think about it, depending on your type of product. But let's say you have a type of product that may be a lot less expensive, let's say $20 or even $50, where they know they need it and they just require maybe 24 hours to think about it. They don't have to consult with anybody, and it's within a price range that they feel comfortable with making a purchase right away. In that case, you will see most of your PPC revenue coming at the 1 day mark. So that tells you, hey, most of my customers are buying within 1 day. That means that I don't have to wait to make changes to my PPC. I can go ahead and after day one, if I'm not getting the results I want, let me go ahead and change my PPC campaigns because you have the actual data with you. Okay. Now going back to the sales and profit page, something very cool that I want to show you is you have all of these data, but you want to be able to create your own analysis. And if you're a Excel power user like me, that I love Excel, you can export all of these numbers to your computer. It will download as a CSV file, so Mac users can also take benefit of this. This is the report that downloads. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up so you can see the titles, and we will show you the time frame that you're downloading it for. If you had multiple accounts, we will tell you the marketplace. And we will show you your SKU, product name, average price per unit for the time frame that you selected, units sold, PPC sales, total sales, cost of goods total, your fees total, PPC spent, any other expenses that you may have. And when I say other, I mean outside of Amazon, like photography, your trip to China to visit your supplier, and things like that. Total costs per unit, so you would sum all of the costs noted before. Your profit per unit, ROI, and profit total without PPC, and total profit with PPC. Now, moving on to the expenses tab, we're going to be seeing 3 different sections. The first one is your product costs, or what I keep mentioning as cost of goods sold. This is where you'll see all of your SKUs and the cost that you want Fetcher to account for the cost of goods sold and the inbound shipping. Now, inbound shipping, when we say that, we mean the shipping from your manufacturer overseas to the port in the country or marketplace that you're selling at. And as you can see, you can expand each SKU so you could see your cost of goods sold history and make changes. As you can see the pencil icon there, or delete any as needed. And if you have 100, 2,000, 10,000, I've even seen 100,000 SKUs, you don't want to go ahead and sit down and do one by one. It would take you forever. Because of that, we created this really cool tool here where you can upload your cost of goods sold. And in order to do that, you would download the template, and Fetcher will go ahead and download all of your product name, ASIN, SKU, and give you instructions on what to fill out and how to fill it out. As soon as you do that, you're going to go ahead and take that same report. It's going to download it as a CSV file. So if you're Windows, you can download it in Excel, or if you're Mac, Numbers, or manage it as however you like. And then take that same report that you've completed and upload as a cost sheet. And Fetcher will go ahead and enter everything in there without you going line by line. Now, moving to the second section, we have reshipping. This is the program called Amazon Partner Carrier Services. This is when you have your product at the port. Most of the times it's California for the US marketplace. And you know that if you use Amazon and their carrier rates, it would be much better and inexpensive for you. And we all do this by going into Seller Central, Shipping Plan, and going from there. If you do use that service from Amazon that Amazon provides, you will see that expense noted here as free shipping. And again, this is the expense to use Amazon services and their freight forwarder rates. And what they'll do is that they will go ahead to the port where you have your product and take your product and ship it to the Amazon warehouse where they told you it had to go to. And then we have your other expenses. This is what I noted before as your photography expenses or the trip to China expenses and anything else outside of Amazon that you want to keep track of. For example, here we have a couple of reshipment expenses that were outside of Amazon, but we still want to track. We have some software subscription, such as Jungle Scout or Fetcher, or one of our other apps called Plately in this case. Something really cool I want to point out here is where it says product name, this column right here. As you can see, it gives you the option to account for an expense at the business level, as you can see here, Jungle Scout, or at the SKU level, such as this one. In this case, photography was this expense was only for pictures of the baby towel color blue. So you don't want to go ahead and add that expense for the entire business. Instead, you would just select the SKU that you want from here, and then Fetcher will account that expense only to the SKU that you want. And then over here, you can tell Fetcher the frequency of the expense that we're looking at. One time, annual, monthly, weekly, or daily. And you can add as many expenses as you like. You can enter your description, your costs, dates, and so forth. Now, moving on to our fourth tab here, we're looking at your refunds. Again, you can select the exact time frame you want, and Fetcher will show you all of the data for that specific time frame. We have for this time frame $1,165.25 in refunded revenue. This graph will do a comparison per SKU. It will give you the count of units refunded, and very important, the return rate of units sold, because we all want to keep track of our returns and the percentage of that, because we know what happens when your refund percentage goes up. Amazon takes action, and they will usually reach out to you to see what's going on. And here we will show you the SKU that the refund came in for, the purchase date, your order ID, and return price. Now here you will notice that the order ID is in blue. That's because we give you the ability, if you want to see even more data for this particular refund, you're able to click on it, and then a new tab will open up on your browser showing you giving you the option to log into Seller Central, so you can go straight and see your details for that refund, instead of going into Seller Central and then go refund and then go button by button trying to get to that specific refund. Instead, you can just click and we'll take you right there. We already reviewed your product breakdown, which is similar to the sales and profit, but more in detail. So you can see the exact numbers that we're pulling and see the calculations. Now we have your P&L statement. Now, Katie, this is very important for her because this is what she's gonna go over in her meeting with the team. Again, you can select the time frame that you wanna see, and Fetcher will do the rest. We'll go ahead and display your revenue and break it down by your adjusted revenue, because we're gonna show you what we deducted, such as promos and refunds, and what we added, such as reimbursements. Here on your expenses tab, we will show you all of the costs. Now, this is all at the business level. Your cost of goods sold, inbound shipping, and reshipping. As you remember, inbound shipping is from your supplier overseas to the port in the country or marketplace that you're selling. And then reshipping would be from the port to the Amazon warehouse. And in this case, the reshipping that we pull is if you use the Amazon carrier services, which I highly recommend. You get much better prices, freight prices, than you would if you were to sign up with the freight forwarders yourself. Your recurring fees, these are all of those non-order specific fees, such as storage fees, any refund specific fee, and so forth. Your order fees, these are straightforward, your FBA per unit fulfillment fee, and your commission fee. Your PPC, and from there, we're gonna go ahead and list all the other expenses that you may have. In this case, software subscriptions, and a test recurring, which is probably for any other expense that in this case, it was only used once for January. From there, we'll take the total, show your net profit and your gross margins, which, let me go ahead and pull a broader time frame so you can see more data. And in this case, we'll tell you month by month what the percentage was, so you can compare and use this to really dig deep and see where you can find trends. In this case, we did really well in November and in December. Now in December, we didn't do as well as November, because during this time frame, we were doing a lot of promotions, and because it's Christmas, we had a lot of customers buy the baby towels as gifts, but we were doing a lot of promotions at the same time. So because of that, two of our best months were October and November. Now, and last but not least, we have your product settings. And what's really cool about this is, let's say you've been selling us in FBA for a really long time, or you're a retail arbitrage seller and you have 1,000 SKUs, out of which you're actively only selling 100. Because of the way that the API with Amazon works, they will send us everything, but you don't want to see everything because you only have 100 SKUs activated. You can go ahead and turn them off as you wish. The including calculations widget will give you the option to remove any revenue or any expenses from the overall calculations that you see on your dashboard. And the display in dropdowns will give you the option to remove that SKU out from the product breakdown. Or if you want to go ahead and select it this way, you can go ahead and do that. When you select it this way, it means don't include revenue or expenses in the calculations from the dashboard, but do give me the ability to pull this SKU into the product breakdown so I can do my own analysis separately from my overall business health numbers. Okay, and from here, you can also change, for those of us that have a one paragraph title in Amazon for SEO purposes, you can go ahead and change that name so you don't see your entire paragraph name, and change it to something that you feel more comfortable referencing. In this case, we liked Jungle Snugs Blue. That's it. But if you went to our listing for this one, we do have one of those paragraph long title, but just for ease of use, we changed it here in your product settings tab. Okay, now if you have, again, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 SKUs, you can change anything here, and then from your right side here, you can tell Fetcher, hey, go ahead and show me only the SKUs that I have excluded from calculations or those that I hid from the dropdowns. Fetcher will go ahead and give you that data. But now, Katie is ready. She analyzed her business. She's ready for the meeting that she's going to have later today. She downloaded everything, all her reports. She downloaded her P&L statements, which she can do from the top right corner. She does a real quick 5-minute last look at her dashboard, and she's ready for her meeting. She knows exactly what's going on with her business in Amazon.
For international sellers, if they are selling in Europe, VAT, how do you add VAT into Fetcher?
I do. And let me go ahead and show you this right here, because the account that we were looking at does not sell in the UK just yet. But for VAT, in the product settings tab that I showed you before, we give you the option, the ability to enter the percentage that you want to track for that specific marketplace. You have the option to select any marketplace as long as you've synced it within Fetcher. You will have this option. After you do that, Fetcher will go ahead and recalculate every single tab inside your account. It started with the P&L statement, where we're going to go ahead and pull the sales tax calculation into your expenses and display it like that, what it is, a sales tax.
If everything is covered, we could maybe cover the pricing.
Oh, absolutely. Within Fetcher, the pricing is set up in a way that you have all the features you need and all the features that we have in Fetcher, meaning it doesn't matter what plan you're in, you will always have all of Fetcher. The price instead is based on the number of orders that you process on a monthly basis. Why? Because that will determine the manpower that we need in the back end to get everything running and support your account. That's why. Now, if you process 2,500 orders or less a month, your price would only be $19. If you process anywhere between 2,501 to 5,000 monthly orders, your price would be only $39. Or if you process 5,001 orders a month or more, your price would be $99. Because we understand the pain that Amazon sellers have to go through to find out this information, the profits, we keep our prices very, very low, and we don't take any features out. All the features are available to everyone, including during the trial. We have a 30-day trial where you can try out Fetcher, no commitments at all. You don't have to enter your credit card, but still you can see everything that I showed you here You can see it for your business, make your own analysis, see the real value of Fetcher before you make any commitment. And you have all the features available.
Yeah, really competitive pricing. And can you reveal us any features which are coming up in the near future?
Absolutely. We are working on adding more marketplaces, including India, which we already support on the Jungle Scout side, which for those of you that don't know, Jungle Scout is our parent company. We're also looking to support the marketplace of Japan in the near future. And we're looking to enhance our PPC widget right now, even though, as you saw, we do have a pretty great PPC tool, but I'm biased, of course. I use it a lot, though. But we're looking to even enhance and add more capabilities, because the PPC field in Amazon is getting harder and harder. So we're trying to arm, that's what we want. We want to arm sellers so they know what they're doing and save time doing it.
All right. And how does the support work? What's the best way for users and potential users to get in touch with your support team?
Absolutely. If you're already a user, on the top right corner of Fetcher, you will see a question mark. All you have to do is click on that question mark and it'll take you to our support page so you can contact us via email. Or if you are on our website and you're thinking about Fetcher, you will see a pop-up on the bottom left corner. You just fill out your information, give us a quick question, and we'll contact you within 2 hours, tops.
Yeah, I like quick contact, quick responses. All right, and the last question, do you have any offer for Demo Mondays viewers?
I do. Okay, if you're a Demo Monday user, you will see at the bottom of this webinar a specific link that you can use to sign up to Fetcher. This link will give you the 30-day trial just like any user, but then for being a Demo Monday viewer, you will get your first payment, which will be your second month, essentially, half off, 50% only.
All right. Thanks a lot for this great presentation and good luck in your business, Maria. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, Augustus. Have a great day.